Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Layla, and for today's video, I'm going to be going over my finances for August 2024. Happy September. I hope y'all had an amazing month for August. I'm in a different filming location just downstairs because, as I mentioned in my last Transfer Tuesday video, my foster dog got her spay surgery. I appreciate all the well wishes for her. She is down here. Actually, I didn't want to leave her alone. That's her little donut collar so she doesn't lick her surgery spot. But she's been resting a lot and is doing very well. So let's go ahead and talk about all of my finance numbers from August. I do first want to go over the financial goals that I set though. My first goal was to save in 4 of my sinking funds, my emergency fund, car insurance sinking fund, car maintenance sinking fund, as well as gifts. I did not reach this goal. I actually only saved in one of these sinking funds, and I will show you what that is as I go through my expenses. Second goal was to invest at least $150. I also did not achieve this goal. I invested a lot less than this, but it was still something, so I'm happy about that. I was expecting my 401k to start in August, but some things got in the way of that, and I'll explain that as I go through my expenses as well. And then my third goal was to make at least $3,500 in business revenue, and I did not achieve that goal either. I made quite a bit under that, actually, less than $3,000. I'll give you the exact number in just a moment. The summer months are usually slower as far as income goes. I am a little bit disappointed with this goal, like not hitting this goal, and also just with my income for the month and over the last couple of months, honestly. But it is okay. I'm still doing pretty good and just kind of figuring things out as I go. It's definitely a bummer not to reach any of the financial goals that I set for the month, but I know that in the past for months in a row, I was hitting everything, so it's okay. It's not a big deal, not stressing about it. I am excited to talk about these numbers because overall, I still had a pretty good month financially. So let's go ahead and look at these numbers. So of course, we're gonna start with my income and my spending for the month. If you are interested in this spreadsheet, I do have it linked below and it is free. I also have a number of other Google Sheets templates that you can purchase on my Etsy shop, but this one specifically is free. I also have a couple of options because this one is more catered to those who are self-employed or, if you want it set up like this. But yeah, my spreadsheets are always very simple and clean because that's the way I like to organize my money. This top section here is focused on the business side of things. If this is the first video that you're watching of mine, I am self-employed, so I pay myself as the employee. I'm the employer, but also the employee. And this up here kind of just captures the business side of all of that. For business revenue, I was expecting 3,000. I wanted over 3,500. That was the goal, but I was thinking it would be a minimum of 3,000, and instead it was actually $2,800.52. I do make a video every single month sharing where my money comes from, as well as my extra income and then my business expenses. So stay tuned for that. That will be up over the next week or so. Obviously, I'm fairly close to the expected amount, but it's definitely a bummer to not even hit that. And I have seen some comments of people saying like, try to get a month ahead and work things that way. And I think I will get to that point eventually. It's just going to take some time for me to get there. It's also not something that I'm used to, so I'm not exactly sure how to organize things. In general though, I am grateful to say that it's been enough for me to pay for everything that I need to pay for. August was a little bit different, so I'll get to my spending obviously, and you'll see what I mean by that. But I am hopeful that my income will increase over the next few months. It's definitely something that I am working on, but we'll see. Okay, so moving on to rollover business revenue, I was expecting 500 here. This was actually a little bit more, $614.86. This is just money that was left in my business checking account from July. And then I did not pull from my business sinking fund. Okay, then my expenses on the business side. So payroll, that is $2,000, that's correct. 401k match, so I did start my 401k for myself. And that was supposed to start for the second payroll in August, which is why I have $40 budgeted here, but that was actually zero because in order for me to have that go through properly, I had to wait to run payroll, which you have to run payroll every payroll. And you can have this set up automatically and stuff like that, but I don't do that. I do it manually. Guideline, which is where I have the 401k set up, was like, wait to run payroll until August 27th. but the deadline for Gusto, which is my payroll system, was the 26th. So if I didn't run payroll by the 26th, I wouldn't have gotten paid at all. So I was like, that's fine. We'll just wait until September until I start the 401k. So because of that time issue, I was not able to start the contributions, but that's fine with me because it was the lower income month, and they're definitely starting in September because I already ran the payroll. So it's very exciting. Payroll taxes, I budgeted $160. That was actually $153. Distribution, I was expecting $1,000, but I actually did not give myself anything. So distribution is just when you transfer from your business checking account to your personal checking account, and I can use that money as I need to, but I decided not to. I wouldn't have been able to, give myself $1,000, or I just didn't want to do anything. So actual business expenses, I budgeted $100, and that was $52. And then last thing here is insurance. This is health insurance as well as dental, and that was $99.28. I have a whole video talking about my health insurance plan. I got it through healthcare.gov. So that's it for the business side of things. You can see that if you subtract my expenses from my revenue and what I had left over, I have quite a bit of a cushion. I am intentionally doing that so that I can have more in my business checking account and try to do the month ahead so that I am budgeting with what I made from the previous month instead of just guessing what I may be making for the month and budgeting with that. Okay, then we'll scroll down to the personal side of my income and spending. So my paychecks, those did total $2,000 gross. As I said, for my distribution, that was $0. I did make quite a bit from extra income. A lot of this was credit card cash back, which I'll talk about. That was $1,642.81, which really, really helped this month. And then I did pull quite a bit from my sinking funds too. That came to $3,263, and I will talk about where the two sinking funds that I pulled from for this. Now, since I show my gross income, I also like to reflect my taxes. So I budgeted $460 for the month, but that actually ended up being $367.56. This was actually just payroll taxes. I did not set any money aside for quarterly estimated tax payments just because I don't think it was necessary for August. 401k, like I said, that was supposed to happen, so I budgeted $50, but that was $0. And then my brokerage account, I wanted to put at least $100 to that, but I only did $35. Next few things are my sinking funds. So first up, for my emergency fund, I wanted to put $100 to it, but I actually put $0. I actually pulled from the sinking fund, which we'll talk about. My gift sinking fund, I wanted to put $75. That was $0. That's because I spent on gifts, and I'll talk about that in a second as well. Car/car maintenance, I budgeted $0 because I knew I had to get a lot of car maintenance in August, and that is correct. Put $0 to that. And then my car insurance sinking fund, I budgeted $125. This is one that I absolutely need to contribute to on a monthly basis because I pay my premium every 6 months, so that's just what I want to do. I did save $125 toward that. Next is donate. I still budgeted $100, but I actually didn't donate anything, not officially donate. I did spend on my foster dog, which is, in my opinion, a donation in and of itself because it's, I'm paying for a dog that isn't mine. So you'll see that reflected in this dogs and cat line item, but actual donations I did not make in August. House/utilities, I budgeted $1,166.50. This covers my portion of the mortgage. I do live with my boyfriend. This is not my house. This is only under his name, but I just pay a smaller portion for the mortgage because I'm living here, and I just transfer that to him. I also pay 50% of all of our utilities. This even includes HOA. This is the Wi-Fi, the alarm security system, electric, gas, and water. So that's what I budgeted, but I actually transferred $2,328 to my boyfriend, and I pulled this out of my emergency fund. And the reason that this is higher is because I paid for August as well as September because I knew I had the lower income for August. I'm also kind of expecting a lower income for September. So I was like, I just want to get ahead of this right now, and I'm going to pull from my emergency fund and take care of it. This isn't something I absolutely had to do. I would have been able to cover what I needed to cover with the money that I had coming in, but then things would have just been really tight, and I just would rather, I just felt okay with making this transfer. At first, I was really hesitant about it. I was like, I don't want my emergency fund to go down. This sucks. It's not like a true emergency, but I have the money there, and if it's something that just makes me feel a little bit better. I was able to take care of August, take care of September. Now that's why in my September budget video, you saw that house and utilities, I budgeted 0. So yeah, you will see that my emergency fund, the total amount that I have saved there, did decrease, but it's still a pretty decent amount, and I'm hoping that I can get it back to where I had it before. At least I'm still hoping to reach 15,000 by the end of the year. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I'm still going to aim for that. But it's obviously lower because I pulled from it. Household, I budgeted 50. This is on things like cleaning supplies, home decor, which we're not really buying right now, toilet paper, blah, blah, blah. That was $28.23. I did buy some toilet paper. I bought a box of tissues. Oh, when we were traveling, I bought an ornament. It was like a handmade ornament for $6. It was actually a really good deal. And we went to Wyoming, so I got a bison. It's really cute. Where did I even put that? I don't recall even packing that up, so I'm assuming my boyfriend put it somewhere. I'll have to ask him. And then I did buy some detergent. Altogether, not bad, and under budget by $21.77. For groceries, I budgeted $400. Bumped this up a little bit for the month because we were traveling. I think I went over. Yeah, $412.34. I did buy 2 tubs of protein, and then I also bought some tea, some loose leaf tea, which is a little bit more expensive than just regular groceries. So over budget by $12.34. This isn't too bad. My boyfriend paid for the bulk of the groceries when we were traveling. I got us like a couple of things. So that is what ended up ultimately making it go over though, because the groceries and everything in Wyoming are much more expensive. Food out, I budgeted $100. This is another area that I increased because I knew we were traveling, but actually stayed under here. Spent $37.02. I bought a soda from QT. I refilled my Starbucks card. I have a couple of other things here. I think we went to QT twice and got soda. Oh, coffees. It was coffees while we were traveling. Yeah, y'all get the point. I mean, under budget by $62.98. I know that I think I went out to eat a couple more times. I think my boyfriend paid one time. When we were in Wyoming, we went out one time. He paid for that. And then I think when we were home, might have gotten something and he paid for that. But I also got my own food out and used the Uber Eats credit that I still have from when I had my full-time job. I have like gift cards on Uber Eats. So it would have been higher if it were not for that, but I still think under 100 otherwise. Okay, gas for my car, I budgeted $75. That ended up being $35.96. I only went once and my boyfriend paid for the gas while we were traveling. Health and beauty, I budgeted $300. Spent $257.69. I got new shampoo, I got my lotion, I got vitamins, got my massage, and plus the tip, I bought more nose strips, breathing strips, and then I paid for the Ladders app. So under budget a little bit, $42.31 under, and that's been, usually I go over in this category, so that's good. Next is dogs plus cat. So this is for my sister and I's dogs, my foster dog, and then the cat in the neighborhood that I have been feeding. Budgeted $190, that was not enough. I spent $334.79. I still sent the $180 to my sister for our dogs. I bought supplements for my foster dog. I got her a bed, I got her a spacesuit because she was getting spayed, and the little donut thing, and then I got some cat food. Like I said before, I didn't donate any money because of this. I spent, probably over $100 on my foster dog this month, so I would count that as a donation in and of itself. Netflix is $23.48. My gym membership is $39.99. Personal spending, I budgeted $50, but I spent $0, which I'm very happy about. While we were traveling in Wyoming, I was like, oh, should I buy like a sweatshirt or shirt or something? But ultimately I decided I didn't want to. Like, I have plenty of shirts and sweatshirts and stuff, and to me, it's just not necessary. We got the little ornament, and I really like that, like something that my boyfriend and I can share, so I'm proud that I did not spend anything on myself. For gifts, I budgeted $75. That ended up being $83.95. A little bit over budget here, but that's fine with me. I did not pull anything from my sinking funds, my gift sinking fund for this, but that's also why I didn't add to my gift sinking fund. And then car maintenance, I budgeted $800 because I knew I needed to replace all 4 tires plus get an oil change. Well, that ended up costing quite a bit more. That was $1,084.40, so over $280 over budget here. I did pull $1,085 from my car maintenance sinking fund, which is amazing that I even have that. You know, that gives me great peace of mind, which is why I was like, whatever, it's fine. I got some nice Michelin tires that have 80,000 mile warranty. I did shop around. I did want Michelin tires specifically, and I do prefer like new unused tires. Plus, the last time that I got my tires changed was when I bought this car, and that was back in 2018, so it's been quite some time. And you know, if these are expected to last at least 80,000 miles, potentially more, this is going to be years that it's going to last, you know. So to me, the money is well worth it. I already had it, and then I got the oil change, wheel alignment, blah blah blah. But yeah, this is also why I did not add to my car maintenance sinking fund, because I paid for car maintenance and I pulled from that sinking fund instead. And then there were two things that I did not budget for but ended up spending in. First would be travel. Now, I swear like everything was paid for before. Like, I thought we paid for everything for our Wyoming trip. We booked this back in December. I was like, oh, everything's all set. So yes, the flights were covered. The rental car was completely covered, but we had paid for half of the Airbnb back in December, and I did not even notice that. So paid $910.87, but this includes the second half of the Airbnb as well as both of our checked bags. We only took one checked bag, but you have to, you know, pay for it when you're going there and also coming back. That was $35 each time. But the exciting thing about this is I completely covered the whole thing with my Capital One Venture X credit card. And this is actually a huge thank you to y'all. The people who use my referral link for that credit card may not even watch my videos on a regular basis, but if you are somebody who used my Capital One Venture X credit card referral link, I greatly appreciate it, because that is how I was able to get this completely covered. And this was a big chunk of my extra income that is up here, this $1,600. That includes that Capital One cash back. So I was very excited to be able to completely cover all of that and not have to worry about cash flowing it. So that was super exciting. I don't know what happened though. Like, I was convinced that we had already paid for everything, and I was like, oh yeah. I should have known that we would have to pay for the bag. Like, that's something you do as you're checking in for your flight. So, and then final thing that I also should have budgeted for but just slipped my mind was parking. And that was $66.50 for parking at the airport. Now that my boyfriend and I live a little bit further out from the airport, it's just cheaper to pay for parking at like a nearby facility, and then they shuttle you over to the airport, and it's amazing. So $66.50 for the week. If you live in Atlanta, we use Park and Fly or Parking Spot. I think Parking Spot now owns Park and Fly, and I think it is such an amazing deal. If we were to Uber instead to the airport and then Uber back, it definitely would have been double the price, if not more. So well worth it to me. But yeah, that's all my spending for the month. I mean, it's quite a lot, $6,170.78, but larger chunks, car maintenance, that was pulled from the sinking fund, house/utilities pulled from the sinking fund, and then same with the travel even, that was covered by the credit cards. So now to my yearly tracker, so we can take a look at my savings, my investments, and my net worth. First up will be my savings. I record these numbers on the last day of the month after the interest accrues in my high yield savings account. So taxes, this is just tax savings for quarterly estimated tax payments. I didn't add anything to that. That's at $557.34. My emergency fund, like I said, I pulled from it, quite a bit from it. So now it's at $12,265.60. A big drop there, but still a pretty decent amount. So I'm okay. Gift sinking fund, which I did not add to, but I didn't pull from either. That's now at $1,110.26. My travel sinking fund is now at $6,161.51. Car/car maintenance, I pulled from that one. That is now at $3,172.73. I'm gonna obviously work on growing that again. Car insurance is at $383.17. My insurance savings, this is so that I can pay my insurance tax credit back if necessary, because I took a tax credit for the health insurance that I have right now. That's at $2,505.50. Business sinking fund is $3,631.99. Altogether, the savings in my high yield savings account is at $29,788.10, which is a decrease compared to last month. Honestly, I want this to go back up on a monthly basis. I don't like to see this drop, and I would like to stay at 30,000 or above. So I'm hoping for September I can get back to that 30,000 mark and then slowly start building everything back up again. And then as for investments, things were quite exciting for August, which is nice to see. So my Roth IRA jumped to $37,567.35. So I'm up 3.7% here. I did not add anything to my Roth IRA because I actually already maxed it out for the year. So this is just growth in the market. Then we have my 401k, which is now at $37,071.97, up 4.4%. Again, the market was just up, so that's why that increased. My SEP IRA, that's at $426.09. That's also up by 2.4%. And then my brokerage account with Vanguard is up 2.3% at $10,011.93. Over 10,000. Hopefully that lasts. I mean, I did add a little bit to it. Again, the market is up. I'm hoping to stay over 10,000 there though. It's kind of cool to see. And then Coinbase, that is down 15% at $31.30. This is just chilling there. I know it's kind of silly for me to even count it. Somebody asked like why I'm even keeping that account. It's just because everything that I have in there, all the crypto I have is just random crypto that I would have to like sell each one. I think there's over 10 at least. So I don't know, I've been lazy about it, just procrastinating on doing that. But eventually I'll probably get rid of it, sell everything. And I used to have quite a bit of Bitcoin, not quite a bit. I used to have a little bit of Bitcoin and I sold that earlier this year. So I'll probably sell all of these off and put it to my brokerage or something. But yeah, altogether I have $85,108.64 invested, and that means I'm up 3.8% compared to last month. Now this very much has to do with the market, not me. It's not like I'm investing very heavily right now, but it's still very nice to see, and this is the highest amount I've ever had invested, so it's very cool. Now we're going to go down to my net worth here in the yellow section. But before we go down to that, I do want to say that I don't count this tax sinking fund as part of my net worth. I also do not count the value of my car in my net worth. That's just personal preference. And then the only thing I add in here is my checking account balances. So my personal checking account and my business checking account. So all together, and I have no liabilities, I have no debt. So my net worth for August came to $115,991.73, which is an all-time high for me, just by a little bit. You can see back in June, I got over 115,900, but now I'm like, 60 or so more than that, which is good. And I'm very happy to see it going back up again. I did see a decrease for last month, and I'm very aware that it could decrease again. That's completely fine. But yes, it is good to see it going up. And then this is the chart for 2024 so far. And then over here we have all of 2021 through now. And I love seeing this. I'm excited for it to, I don't want the time to go any faster than it is, but this will look really cool, I think, like a decade from now, And then the final number here would be my credit score, my Vantage score from Credit Karma, and that is still at 815. Final tab to go through would be my goal tracker. It's one of my favorites. This is available for purchase on my Etsy shop. First goal on here is to max out my 401k. I know that that's not going to happen for 2024, but it's still something that I'm going to track now that I will be contributing to it again. For August, it was supposed to be the $90 total from myself as the employee and the employer, but that was actually zero. So far for the year, I have contributed $8,604.35. And yeah, it's just going to be $90 per paycheck going forward. Next, I would like to reach a net worth of $125,000. August, my net worth increased by $1,085.43. So slowly getting there. I don't know if I'll hit this goal, but I'm 92.79% of the way there. By the way, I meant to say this before as I was going through my net worth. I did receive a comment on my last video like this for July saying like, is it healthy for you to track your net worth on a monthly basis? That's completely up to you. I am fine with tracking on a monthly basis. It doesn't I don't want to see my net worth go down, of course, but I'm fine with it. Like it doesn't bother me. It doesn't make me panic or freak out, make me feel bad. So I like to see that number on a monthly basis and keep track of it so I can see the progress. But I understand if people want to track every 6 months or every year. I think it's important to at least do every year just so you can see where you stand with everything. But if you don't want to do monthly, then you don't have to. Remember, personal finance is personal. So if you think monthly is too much, just know that it's not too much for me and for a lot of other people. Next goal is to make at least $1,000 in gross income. For August, my gross earnings, $4,443.33. So that's from my business revenue as well as from extra income. I don't know if I'll hit this goal. I really hope I do, but that's kind of a stretch. Like I would have to make a lot of money for the next few months, but I'll be close, so it's okay. Going along with that, I would like to make at least $50,000 for my business income. Toward the beginning of the year, I was absolutely on track to hit this. For August, that was $2,800.52. So far this year, over $33,000. And I would need to make quite a bit each month to hit this goal too. It's definitely still possible depending on, I mean, Q4 is usually a little bit higher earning, but I don't really know what to expect right now. So it's gonna suck not to hit this if I don't hit it, but it's also still a pretty good number overall. Next goal is my emergency fund. I would like to reach 15,000 there. For August, as y'all saw, that decreased, and it's not that 2,000 figure that you saw before because I also added money in August, but obviously it doesn't account for that, it doesn't cover everything. So not only did I gain interest in my high yield savings account in that specific sinking fund, but I also had added 125 plus another 250 at one point. So that's why it's a little bit less here. I'm still only $2,700 away from hitting this goal. It's possible that I could still hit this for the end of the year, but I'm not going to really stress if I don't. Overall though, I think having over 12,000 is still a pretty decent emergency fund, and I'm just going to work on building it no matter what. Final goal here is to spend less than $50,000 on everything outside of investing, outside of saving, business expenses, that sort of thing. For August, it was a little bit higher of a spend month, so altogether $5,643.22. I am still tracking here, so 63%. I've spent a total of $31,554, and I have over $18,400 to go. I think I will still hit this goal, so I would say still on track there. So that's everything for August. Obviously, you can see that I didn't make as much as I wanted to. I didn't hit any of my goals, but still overall, I saw progress and my net worth increase. So I would say it was a good balance between everything. I would love to hear how your finances went for the month, so feel free to comment that down below or anything that you would like to share. But otherwise, thank y'all so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, because I know a lot of y'all aren't subscribed, so please subscribe if you are not, and I will see you in my next video.